So I'll proceed to read our statement. And this statement is founded on the basis of continuity and perpetuity of the movement, which has otherwise been thought to be dead. The movement is not dead. Some of us here have actually fought for the movement. Some of us actually participated in the very initial stages of formation of the Gen Z movement, which other people thought, or maybe many people thought, was, you know, entirely amorphous, but to some extent there was organization involved. So we can authoritatively say that we are here to represent the voices that or rather that Kenyans think are dead. So earlier this year, we, the young people of this generation and this country, went to the streets to demand for a better Kenya. This was on the backdrop of an unapologetic attitude of the government and state actors in place. And they were actually going against the will of Kenyans and the will of especially the young people. The government, led by, Mr. Ruto, immediately responded with brutality, abductions, torture, and killings in total disregard of our constitutionally guaranteed rights. Nothing has so far changed. Actually, we are worse. Many people are unaccounted for. As we speak, we have some of us who are still unaccounted for. Some of us who got lost in the mix of everything. Some of us are still maimed and they're still nursing their injuries in the hospitals. Some are still affected mentally, and that means they cannot even come out to speak what happened to them. So while we can bank on a properly functioning parliament to check on the errors and excesses of the executive, we have none at the moment. We have a parliament that is serving the interest of the executive instead of representing the people, oversighting the executive and the other arm of government, and actually speaking for the people. We are therefore gathered here to remind Kenyans that the Gen Z movement is still here, and we are ready to ask the questions that our compromised parliament and the opposition, which is no longer existing, aren't bold enough to ask Mr. Ruto. The health sector has witnessed untold death and suffering, not only by the patients, but also the doctors themselves. We have a young doctor who was in his attachment, who just died the other day. I think 4 or 5 months ago, we had a lady, a young doctor who also, committed suicide. So really, we've had these cases. Imagine if those who are supposed to take care of Kenyans are killing themselves. That means they've reached the dead end. What would it be said for those of us who know nothing about anatomy and health? Fellow Kenyans, right now our medical interns have gone for more than 4 months without pay. They are not in the right mental state to handle patients, but they do it nonetheless. You also remember that the government rushed to roll out SHIF and SHA. They are actually confusing Kenyans. Is it Social Health Insurance Fund or is it Social Health Authority? Someone said that the government spent 104 billion to replace N with S so that we have SHIF instead of the former NHIF, just replacing an N, because really there's nothing better in the shift that they've brought forward. So when they realized this is actually bringing a discussion, they resorted to SHA, Social Health Authority. Okay, now this system has been enrolled, but without putting into place measures to ensure smooth transition. Lives have been lost in the process, and we can only wonder what the hurry was exactly for. Why did we have to hurry to bring in another health fund that is actually not working? Yet we had a working comprehensive national health insurance cover. The education sector also, as you know, has a share of these troubles. The once giant institutions of higher learning, for example, there's Moi University, have collapsed and are collapsing, and probably more will collapse. The university funding model is in shambles, and there are unresolved issues around JSS teachers' employment and payment. So politics, as you know, define every scope of our lives. The political space has grown thinner under this regime. Abductions have been normalized to the point of it becoming a part of our foreign policies. You have seen the Ugandan opposition leader, Kizza Besigye, was just abducted here in Nairobi. And they took him out of the country without any interruption, meaning the government is well aware and is in support of what is happening in this country. We also have nationals of, there's a country, what is this country? Turkey, Turkish nationals, 4 of them, who are abducted in this country. So it means we are not only doing this to the people of Kenya, but also to other nationals, to our global citizens. So we cannot overcome these challenges unless we patriotic Kenyans have a unity of purpose. These issues bedeviling us are no child's play. They are not opportunities for popularity contests, as some of us have put it. And some of us think this is a popularity contest or a power play. These are serious issues affecting Kenyans. And so we should approach them with the seriousness that they deserve. We are happy that the church has found its long-lost voice, and we are calling on SUPKEM, the Islamic body that has not spoken, to also speak to the issues that are happening. We have seen the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops speak. We have seen other bishops from other denominations speak. We have seen the Anglican Church speak, and we are happy that they are all, in support of what the Kenyans are crying out for. But we want to hear those that have not spoken, like SUPKEM. So we really needed that guidance and synergy to ensure that the right things are done and our resources are well accounted for. We acknowledge the crucial role of the religious organizations in weaving the fabric of our society, and that informs this decision. The youth of Kenya have continued the fight for a better country on different fronts since the Gen Z protests. Just immediately after the protest, and while so many of the young people of our young colleagues were hospitalized, a section of us coordinated the crowdsourcing of medical bills. There's a group that has done a commendable job, traversing this country, exposing faith projects and frauds to ensure that the public funds is adequately utilized and the public is well informed, and that everyone is up to date on matters of governance. We have Nelson Amenya, as you know, who single-handedly exposed the mega scandal, the Adani JKIA deal. And we are here to, also tell you that we've been part of some of these groups. Some of us, myself included, has been traversing this country in various outfits, trying to also see to it that these projects we are talking about are exposed and that the people of Kenya have the information that they deserve to have. We recognize and appreciate the efforts of all that have enabled this country to reach where we are. We have indeed saved this country so much loss since the start of what has sparked all the conversations, the Gen Z movement, which we are here to support. We don't want it to die or to go anywhere, and it is not going to die. So that said, we want to assure Kenyans that the defiant spirit of the Gen Z is still here, and that with your support, we will liberate Kenya from the culture of lies, unconstitutionalism, and lack of transparency and accountability. We also want to call upon highly spirited allies and people who are not necessarily Gen Zs, but who believe in the power that the young people hold and who believe in the transformation that has so far started with this conversation, to come forward, to support us, to change this country for the better. We are open to membership from across all generations and all industries. We hereby call for actions in the following key specific areas. Immediate reconstitution of IEBC, Independent Electoral Commission. We know there are constituencies and wards with no leadership. There are constituencies with no MPs. We have wards with no MCAs. Why is it so? Do we have a vacuum somewhere? No, we shouldn't. So that means IEBC should be reconstituted so that we have transition. If someone is appointed to the national government as CS, let a replacement be elected almost immediately. So we call upon Mr. Ruto and his government to reconstitute the IEBC as soon as possible, because we need leadership to continue in this country. Number two, we want a comprehensive report on the state of abductions and illegal actions of the police on the people of Kenya by IPOA. So we want the independent independent police oversight authority to move into swift action and give the Kenyans a detailed report, a comprehensive report on abductions. How many people are missing? Where are they? And who is responsible? We also call for harmonization of the new university's funding model with the actual needs of university students. University comrades are suffering because there are some who've not been able to pay the huge amounts that they're required to pay under the new university funding model. So we need the government of Kenya, including the parliament, to speak to these issues. We have many issues to speak about, and not just to politic around and to always make noise in the assembly. And we also want immediate action on the health fund. We want immediate action on SHA or SHIF, so that then they tell us if they really intended to enroll this SHIF or SHA. Do they have mechanisms to ensure that patients can actually be paid for them to be catered for in hospitals? Not that we have hospitals rejecting patients because they're using SHA or SHIF, which the government itself brought into place, yet we had a working health insurance fund. So we shall shortly embark on a very rigorous civic engagement process so that everyone in Kenya, the lost hope of Kenyans, that they think the young people have been subdued and the young people are no longer speaking, we want to assure the people of Kenya through this civic engagement that we are still up and running, and that we are going to walk in your villages and towns to ensure that this message is everywhere. We are going to explore various solutions to the current problems we are facing and come up with a better way to realize a better Kenya. This will necessitate taking measures to ensure that the political conversation in this country changes for the better future of Kenya, and especially the young people who have a longer future to live, much more than the political elite. So we will fight for this country's liberation. We will fight for this country's democratic space. And if it means going back to the streets, so be it. Thank you. I'll welcome any questions. Yes, sir. Or Kasmuel. I don't have a stand on the party ODM, because ODM is not my party. And I'm not intending, or we are not intending to join ODM anytime. But really, the movement has different characters. We have people who are here and who have been here since the very beginning to serve the interests of the larger majority. But we also have people who maybe they had the interest of the majority at heart, but something changed along the way. Or maybe there was pressure and they bowed to pressure. But of course, we also have people who expressly had no interest of the movement or the general people from the very beginning. So whatever gets someone out of the movement to join another outfit, which from the very beginning we said has people who are against us, against our interests, we honestly cannot speak to that because we don't know. In his heart as Caswell, I don't know really what he's thinking or why he made the decision. He's not come to tell us. but I think my explanation suffices. So it's a personal decision. It's a personal choice to join another outfit. No, we are not forming a party. We are not forming a party, as we've said, and I have been repeating. That's why I was, unequivocally saying Gen Z movement. This is still a movement. We are not forming a party. We are not going anywhere to form a party. And I individually, and I know these gentlemen standing with me, are not intending to form any party.